Hey, do you struggle with rhythm and visualizing musical time? I got something that might just be a real game changer for you. By now, most of us have seen this rhythm ruler concept, and I think it's a great concept to for visualizing musical time and creating grooves and things like that. But Beatscholar is going to take this to a whole different level. So I've been seeing Beatscholar, the ads all over social media, so I decided to give it a try. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that this was developed by badass bass player and the homie or Lubianacker and his partner. And what it is a really unique way of creating rhythm and grooves by dividing beats into slices or pizzas. Now, what I found is that this is, not just a tool for creating grooves, but you could use it as a metronome, a rhythm trainer, a groove trainer, all of those things wrapped up into one. And so let's get into how you might use this. All right, so let's get into the interface. I've had this for like 24 hours and it's so easy to use that I just thought I'd jump in and show you real quick. So this represents one measure of musical time. Each row represents a sound. That's where a sound is going to live. Each column represents a beat. So in 4/4 time, we have 4 beats in a measure. We're going to stick with 4/4 time. Now, let's say one of the things that separates good bass players, this is a bass channel, so one of the things I think separates good bass players from just kind of okay bass players is understanding how drums work. So what I'm going to do is stick kick drums on every beat. Now let's say I could use this like a metronome, right? But we're gonna do something a little sexier than that. Let's go on and put our kick on beat 1 and beat 3. So right now, just like a metronome. And we can play along and create grooves along with our bass, something that we're working on. We can do it with something like this, but let's go on and add a backbeat. So what I'll do is select a snare drum and put that snare on 2 and 4. Pretty standard beat. Here's where things get interesting. I'm going to divide, right? We could divide these beats into 9 parts, but we're going to stick with the traditional 16th note concept. And what I just did was divide each of the beats on the hi-hat row into 4 equal parts. So let me select a hi-hat here. I'll just lower the volume on that just a little bit. That's going to be 1, E, and okay? Let's just put hi-hats on the downbeats. Now that has its place, but let's put some hi-hats on the ands. Give it a little bit more movement. And if I press the command key, this velocity icon comes up. So we're going to give this a little more of a human feel. A little more push and pull. Now, what if I put hi-hat hits on the I'll just change the velocity here just a little bit. So just a quick tip that even with our bass grooves, that's a lot of times, not all the times, a lot of times that's where our ghost notes are going to live. So the velocity would be a little bit lower. So that's one measure of music, a one measure groove. What about if I copy this? Well, before I copy it, I just added, so you know those rhythm trainer exercises, Those metronome exercises, check this out. 2, 3, 4. There's your practice tool right there. That's your practice tool right there. Let me get rid of that measure, and I'm going to duplicate this measure. So now I have a 2-measure drum groove. I'm going to keep it really, really simple. But maybe I want to vary this a little bit in measure 2. Right? That might be a little bit busy, right? Let's add some interest on the kick drum. So I'm going to divide our kick drum into 4 equal parts. And I want to put, got to choose my kick drum sound here. I'm going to choose I want 3 and here. So now, since we know, I'm going to tame this hi-hat part just a little bit. So since we know that our bass parts are going to either mirror or complement the kick drum part, let's solo out this kick drum. Let's see if we can't come up with a bass groove, right? We're going to come up with a bass groove that is either mirroring or complementing this drum groove. I'm going to arbitrarily choose the note B flat. Let's add this, if I'm just practicing, right? Let's say that's my groove and I'm practicing. I'm going to add 2 measures of silence. Let's see. 2. So I'm going to take those out. But there's how we can do that and have it be that practice tool. So I'll take those 2 measures out. Let's add the backbeat. I'm going to mute the hi-hat. Let's add the hi-hat back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this is a great practice tool. There's all sorts of sounds and presets and different things like that you can choose from. But I just wanted to look at it from the perspective of starting with this grid, right? Again, if I want to use it as a metronome, I can do that. But why stop there? You know, of course, there are lots of really cool metronome exercises out there, but why not use something that you can actually also start creating beats with as well? So there's a link below this video somewhere where you can get yourself a little bit of a discount and also try out this software. I think it's pretty dope, and I think you will too.